Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for 23 ABC News at 6. I'm Melissa Flores in for Danielle Kernkamp.
And I'm Mike Hart. Let's begin things with Elena Rusk out there because she needs to explain why it was so wonderful this morning.
To do. Not in a bad way.
And 70s. No, I take full credit.
You.
I did this myself. Yeah.
Take it.
So we've had some seasonal afternoons, upper 90s all week because there's just a little bit of a westerly flow. So we're sunny, we're stable. Those 90s are right on track for average. I know it's hot, but you know what? It's Central California mid-July. No 100s out there here in Bakersfield, at least, for the last several afternoons. Because of that breeze, you see that our friends off to the east of us are dealing with some terrible heat and really bad humidity, too. So they are talking about dangerous summer weather. We're here at home. We're like, oh, well, this is pretty nice. Woke up to some 60s and 70s this morning. Up to the north over British Columbia, just north of Washington State. They're actually talking about chilly weather coming on shore today. We get a little bit of a breeze underneath those storms, taking us down a few degrees tomorrow and Saturday, but it still feels like summer weather out there. So as you're waking up here in Bakersfield, it's 72. Look at Delano, 62. Up in Tehachapi, they're only at 50. That's the cool spot in the county. Sweater weather this morning. To need your sweater in the middle of July is just so rad. Later on this afternoon, though, it's t-shirt weather all day in Bakersfield. We're going to try to get to 99 at 5 p.m. briefly. The forecast, just like yesterday, right on track for average. Those splash parks are open if you want to cool the kids down. And we'll talk more about that cooling for tomorrow coming up in a few minutes. But I want to show you quickly with our roadways. We've had a couple reports of crashes, but nothing that is causing any blocked roadways right now.
We're continuing to follow the death of local business leader and car dealership owner Jose Arredondo. Officials saying he was beaten to death at a condo while visiting Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. According to Baja California Sur state prosecutors, officials were called to a condo in the small resort town for reports of a body showing blunt force trauma. Tribuna de los Cabos, the local media outlet, reporting Arredondo was found laying on the floor with several wounds caused by a knife in the back. The U.S. Department of State Bureau of Consular Affairs released a statement to 23 ABC, writing in part, "We can confirm the death of a U.S. citizen in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. We are closely monitoring local authorities' investigation into the cause of death. We stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance," end quote. 23 ABC reached out to local police authorities in Cabo. They declined to comment.
In other news, Cal City police are investigating a crash that left one woman dead. According to officials, at about 1:30 yesterday afternoon, police and fire responded to a call of a two-vehicle crash on Cal City Boulevard near Yerba Boulevard. Police witnesses telling police that a white Camry collided with a Chevy Captiva. The driver of that Camry is a 71-year-old Cal City resident who has not yet been identified. She was found unconscious and not breathing when officers arrived. Police and paramedics performed CPR, but she was later declared dead. The driver of the Captiva was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officials right now saying speed and alcohol do not appear to be factors in this crash. The cause is under investigation.
Meantime, Red Cross is gearing up to open a service center for people in Ridgecrest impacted by the earthquakes. At the American Red Cross Service Center, caseworkers will meet with residents who have homes that have been verified to have been destroyed or to have sustained major damage as a result of the earthquakes. They'll discuss disaster recovery needs and work with residents to develop a recovery plan. The Red Cross Service Center will be located at Emmanuel Baptist Church at 1201 North China Lake Boulevard in Ridgecrest. The service center will be open today from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m.
A downtown restaurant has been shut down by the health department due to what officials call a vermin infestation and roaches. Public health officials sent 23 these pictures you're seeing on your screen, which were taken inside the Ming Cafe on Service and L Streets. The restaurant was shut down Tuesday after investigators found roaches and unapproved chemicals to treat the infestation. Inspectors say debris was found on the restaurant's floor, walls, kitchen, and walk-in refrigerator. It's unknown right now when it might reopen for business.
In an effort to get more people to donate blood, Houchin is hosting a party and it's going down today. Houchin is teaming up with the Seven Oaks Living magazine to host their second annual blood drive party. The party is set to take place at the Houchin location on Bolthouse Drive. The community blood drive starts at 4 today and runs until 7. And Hakuna Matata, it means no worries. Houchin doesn't want you to have any worries about donating blood at another blood drive that's taking place today as well. Houchin will be hosting hosting a blood drive at the Delano Regional Medical Center. If you donate, you'll get a t-shirt with the logo you see there on your screen. Of course, that logo inspired by the Lion King. It reads, "Blood donation, it's the circle of life." That blood drive will be at Delano Regional on Garces Highway, running from 11 this morning until 4 this afternoon.
It is one of the leading causes of death in Kern County, and tonight you've got a chance to help in the fight against Alzheimer's. The annual Walk to End Alzheimer's doesn't take place until October, but tonight the association is hosting a kickoff event at the Padre. It is geared towards educating you on the impacts of the disease and will provide more information on the walk, which takes place October 19th at the park at Riverwalk. Tonight's kickoff event at the Padre starts at 6 o'clock.
The Kern County Museum is offering a new chair workout class. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
You're doing it right now.
Yeah, I think it's when you twist in your chair or something like that. 23 ABC's Daniela Garrido is live at the Kern County Museum with the correct way to do that chair.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
What's
workout.
going on?
Hello.
Look, this is how you do chair yoga. We're here with Deb McCormick, and she's teaching me all about it. Now we're going to go into power pose, right?
Yes, this is Proud Warrior.
Proud warrior. And then we're going to do a, what is it, backward warrior. I know a little bit about yoga, so this is all, pretty much all I can do. But this is how you do it. We were all so curious. How do you do chair yoga? And I'll tell you, I feel even from these small moments that we were in that position, I already feel the soreness, and I feel like my hips are, worked. So what are the other benefits of chair yoga?
Oh, well, you get a wide variety of movement that you don't get in your daily life. You'll gain flexibility, more energy, less pain. These are common benefits you get from yoga. With chair yoga, you don't have to feel intimidated. We can all sit on a chair. We can all get the benefits of yoga.
And that's so true, because like I said, I've done yoga a couple of times, and even when you're in that lunge, that warrior one lunge, you could be like, oh, I'm not as low as other people, and in that chair, you have a little bit of assistance with that. So for who is this chair class designed for?
Anybody who wants to perhaps start back into exercise, people who can't get down and up from the floor, we can do a pretty good workout for most of the body sitting in a chair.
And what should people know before they come to the class? Anything that they should prepare for?
No, just be here, be hydrated, be comfortable in what you wear. Yeah.
Great. And so classes start July 30th, and they're every Tuesday and Thursday. And Deb is we're going to close it off real quick by doing a quick stretch movement. This looked really hard, but it actually was really cool. So we're going to go back. Okay. I don't know if I could go all the way back. And then another one. Alrighty, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio for now. We're live at the Kern County Museum. Daniela Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Proud warrior.
Was that what it was? A proud warrior? Kind of like that. Yeah. Start of the new school year is inching closer and closer, and one Assemblyman is looking to help families in need with a few events. Assemblymember Rudy Salas is hosting 3 Stuff the Bus events in Kern and Kings counties. He's teaming up with local community members and businesses to supply hundreds of backpacks loaded with supplies for local kids. The first event, Wasco, tomorrow, 9 till noon at the Walmart on North Central. The second will be on Saturday in Hanford from 10 to 2 at the Walmart Supercenter there. The third will be back in Delano, 7:30 until 11 a.m. at the Walmart on Willems Avenue. So you have plenty of chances to take part. Let's bring Elena back in. She can explain all that dry, crackly air.
Dry, crackly air is a good one out there. I was just thinking I need to put on some lotion. My skin is feeling parched. We've had a very dry pattern, and it's been a warm one out there, but those upper 90s we've had all this week has been nice to be out of the 100s, and 98 is our average high here in Bakersfield. So it's been perfectly seasonal, even though it is sunny and so dry. Some showers are moving on shore to our north. Those high thin clouds from yesterday are clearing out, so we're talking about sunshine, stability, and 70s to wake up to this morning. Still some 60s for much of the heart of the valley, the Kern River Valley, and down into many desert locations. Tehachapi still that cool spot at 52 right now. Fraser Park at 58, and you all have a nice healthy breeze coming on through today. So that leaves us seasonal for another afternoon. Yesterday was 99. You see that here in Bakersfield today. 100 possibly for Lamont and Arvin, but just briefly about 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and then we're coming back down. You also have those mid 90s in Kernville and Isabella, mid 80s in Tehachapi, 82 in Fraser Park this afternoon, and down into our desert, couple triple digits there, Cal City and Ridgecrest. But we're all cooling down tomorrow. I'll show you that in the extended forecast coming up.
All right, still to come, the Trump administration expected to notify Congress about sending more troops abroad. We'll tell you how many are headed to Saudi Arabia and the reason behind it.
Plus, a judge is set to make a ruling on Jeffrey Epstein's bail today. Details on what both sides are saying about it and the charges he faces. That's coming up.
Welcome back. 6:14 on the dot. If you need the exact time to get out the door and off to work. One interesting report here way out on the west side. The CHP saying on Rosedale Highway near Greeley Road. This is once you get past all the way out there by Heath and even Weegis. There was a semi that spilled a little bit of gravel in the lanes there. Doesn't sound like too big of a deal, but the CHP is saying that it's kicking up some dust as cars are driving over it, and that could create a visual hazard. So keep that in mind if you're taking Rosedale Highway, the 58, all the way out almost to where it dead ends. You need to turn north to then continue on the 58 out to the 5. But again, that's all the way out there. Rest of Bakersfield doing okay this morning.
Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes is in court facing fraud and conspiracy charges for allegedly misleading investigators about a blood testing startup. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis takes a look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Elizabeth Holmes, who promised to revolutionize blood testing, seen walking into a San Jose courthouse.
We've made it possible to run comprehensive laboratory tests from a tiny sample or a few drops of blood that could be taken from a finger.
Now, 35 years old, Holmes dropped out of Stanford at just 19 to launch her healthcare startup. She and her co-defendant, former boyfriend and COO Sunny Balwani, are charged with multiple counts of fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud, awaiting trial.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So what's next for the former billionaire? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
The Trump administration could formally notify Congress today that it plans to send more than 500 troops to Saudi Arabia. Two Defense Department officials say the troops would deploy to the Prince Sultan Air Base in the desert just east of the capital. It's a show of force against Iran as tensions continue to ramp up. Some troops are reportedly already there, setting up the base and making sure that the missile defense systems are set up along with the runways. It's part of the administration's plans to send 1,000 troops to the Middle East.
We'll find out today if Jeffrey Epstein will have to stay in jail until his child sex trafficking trial starts. Epstein asked the judge to let him live at home in his New York City mansion with armed guards and a court-appointed trustee. Prosecutors say Epstein has almost infinite means and is a major flight risk. Epstein pleaded not guilty to 2 child sex trafficking related charges. They allegedly happened between 2002 and 2005.
A California woman thankful to be alive. Alexis Halland was having solar panels installed at her home in Murrieta when the workers hit a gas line. She was told to leave, so she put her 2 kids, her mom and her little brother, in a family van. A firefighter told Halland that she could go back inside quickly to get a few items. As she walked back in to get her wallet and a diaper bag, the home exploded, killing the man who worked for the gas company.
And I just saw everything crashing down around me, and I thought I was dead. I thought that was it.
Wow. Halland was able to escape through a shattered window. She suffered just minor injuries. Says she still has panic attacks about the explosion. The community is helping out since they lost everything.
In health news, several brands of hummus are being recalled due to a listeria risk. Brands to check for include 7 Select, Schnucks, Roundy's Razors, Pita Pal, and others. You can find item numbers for the affected products at FDA.org. Listeria is a serious infection that can cause diarrhea, fever, confusion, and other flu-like symptoms. It's especially dangerous for those who might already be ill, for children, elderly people, and pregnant women. The recalls are voluntary. So far, though, no illnesses have been reported. We're going to switch gears now. Take a look at that beautiful sunrise.
The sun is up, and thus the heating begins for the day. But it's been a really nice morning out there. We've had 60s and 70s for much of the county. Still 52 in Tehachapi, 53 in Pine Mountain Club if you're like me and you want a little colder. But really, even with low 70s at Edwards, Ridgecrest, Bakersfield, Taft, and Buttonwillow, it's such a nice morning to get started. Now that the sun is up, so begins that warming trend. The last of yesterday's thin clouds pushing out, so we're sunny and stable today. And you see the Futurecast keeps us pretty mild, but we're going to have some nice winds coming on shore tomorrow. You see as that jet stream there digs down just a little bit, creates a trough, and therefore pushes some fresh ocean air on shore, leaves us with moderate air quality for today and likely tomorrow, but also brings us a dip in temperatures by several degrees tomorrow afternoon and into Sunday. And then all of those systems to the north that have been keeping this onshore flow for us going all week will start to push up out of the way as high pressure is building in over the Four Corners region. That means sunshine stability at some 100s heading into next week. You're going to see a little bit of cloud cover trying to come through as well. That's monsoonal moisture trying to move in from the east, so it gives us our best chance of showers and possibly some scattered thunderstorms out there in the desert, maybe lifting up into our local mountains next week. But here in the valley floor, we are so far removed from that moisture, and with these 100s, most of it looks to evaporate and can't really get into our area, but we'll watch it closely. Kern River Valley 90s the next several afternoons. Next week, upper 90s, feeling a little humid, little cloud cover, only very slight chances of showers and thunderstorms, but we'll watch it as we get closer to it. Tehachapi and Fraser Park, some fantastic 80s the next couple afternoons. A little bit warmer on Sunday and then hotter and a little humid next week. Again, I'm only calling it a 10% chance of showers, but we'll watch it.
Still to come, belief in a higher power. He flew above the front lines of World War II. We'll tell you about a veteran who came home without a scratch in an all-new A Veteran's Voice. 6:23 now. This morning, our Veteran's Voice takes us back to the end of World War II. Marvin Belcher, with dreams of becoming a pilot, and that desire landed him at Minter Field in Shafter. He would take to the air over Germany, but not at the controls of a plane. Instead, he had a bird's eye view of the last few months of the war in Europe.
Not only his salvation, but his guidance through the years.
Marvin Belcher's faith runs deep.
He spoke as one having authority.
He teaches Sunday school at the Church of the Brethren in Bakersfield. His faith at the core of his existence. While nearing graduation from Modesto High School in the early days of World War II, he truly believed his destiny would be in the clouds over Europe.
Again, I tried to be a pilot. I applied and I was out here at Minter Field.
He landed in Shafter in early 1943. The facility covered in planes, barracks, even a pool. And it wasn't long before he learned his future would include flying, but at a different set of controls.
No, they need gunners more than they need pilots. So I was small enough, 139 pounds. They said, well, you'll fit in the ball turret really well. So that was my assignment, and I was glad for it. I liked that position.
Marvin left Shafter for flexible gunnery school in Arizona. Then his crew was assembled in Florida before flying a B-17 to England. Unlike the early days when crews were assigned a plane and named it, Marvin's team never had one of their own.
We ran various planes, and all of them had different names.
Oh, okay.
It was not the same plane. And the one that we flew over was not even named yet. We were just flying it to get it there.
He was part of the 384th Bomb Group, his first mission over Europe on February 12, 1945. And by then, the German Luftwaffe was no longer a threat.
The Germans were not able to put fighter planes up against us. And even though we were prepared for them, I only saw one in 26 missions.
But anti-aircraft fire was, and it was everywhere.
And I had a good view of it from the ball turret. And they'd come closer, 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 closer. And then you just felt like you were going to hit. On one mission, we had the ground crew counted 100 holes in our plane, but not a member of our crew got a scratch.
Marvin was in the most exposed part of the aircraft, the cramped space of the ball turret underneath, and it made it hard to escape in case of an emergency.
I was small enough that I could carry my parachute at my side here, hooked onto one side, and I could open the hatch back here and push myself out.
Marvin was part of the last bombing raid over Germany on April 25th, 1945, his 26th and final mission. And it wasn't long after that, Germany surrendered. Shortly thereafter, Martin volunteered for duty in the Pacific.
I was on my way, and lo and behold, they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
He was discharged in November and returned home with thoughts of becoming a minister, but instead entered teaching and administration, and for 35 years worked in the Bakersfield City School District. He initially planned to stay for just 2 years.
Found that a wonderful place to live. We enjoyed the church, we enjoyed the school district, we enjoyed the people, you see.
Not to mention his calling to teach at church, his faith carrying him through some of the most dangerous moments of his life.
When you're approaching a target and you can't take evasive action and those rounds are going off all around you, for me at least, I was in prayer mode. I can't speak for others, but I think that was not an uncommon experience.
Uncommon for many, but not Marvin. He still answers the call to serve at 93.
In other news, 23 ABC has learned that Henry Oxner, a World War II veteran that we featured on A Veteran's Voice recently, underwent surgery last night at Antelope Valley Hospital. The Cal City resident who landed in France on D-Day as part of the 101st Airborne fell at the end of last month, reportedly fracturing his shoulder. During an examination, doctors discovered a tumor in his colon. They were concerned about surgery to remove it, but apparently the old paratrooper told him he wanted to give it a try. We'll give you an update as soon as we learn more about this. We're sending out all our best wishes to Henry.
Yeah, we're certainly thinking about him. There's still much more to come in our next half hour. Coming up next, David Valadao getting back in the congressional race. Details on this move when 23 ABC returns.
Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
He's looking to take back his seat. Details on David Valadao filing papers to run for the 21st Congressional District. Plus, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood is in studio this morning. We'll talk with him about the deputy-involved shooting and the current staffing for the department as well. Good morning and thank you for joining us for 23 ABC News at 6:30. I'm Melissa Flores in for Danielle Kernkamp this morning. We're going to bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk. Yeah. It's a beautiful day to step outside, right?
Day, yes.
Yeah.
Sunny, seasonal out there. The sun is now up. Pop. There it goes. That's that little sound you heard. So we have 60s and 70s to wake up to this morning. Moderate air quality. Fantastic. Maybe you're going for a ride on the bike path. Maybe you're taking the dog for a walk. Really nice to get out and enjoy it. Maybe you're sleeping in. You're like, girl, give me a minute with my coffee.
Yeah.
I get it. And you get some hot coffee up in the mountains because it's only in the 50s up there. We have some chilly air coming on shore to our north. That will provide some showers for our friends in the Pacific Northwest. This far south, it just continues a little bit of that westerly breeze, which leaves us mild this morning. And then sunny and seasonal and looking to be just shy of the 100s again here in Bakersfield this afternoon. Average high 98 today, 99. It's going to be just like yesterday, nice and seasonal, but I do have more cooling coming tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. As for our roadways, as we get you out the door talking about our traffic, you see countywide we're doing okay, and down here in Bakersfield, all of those big highways running in the green.
All right, thank you, Elena. And this morning we are joined by Sheriff Donnie Youngblood in Studio B for our monthly visit and sit down to talk about things that have been going on within the department. Sheriff, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
And of course, we've got a really big thing just recently happening. Of course, everyone talking about the deputy-involved shooting that just happened recently with Reginald Anderson, the suspect who was shot. Let's begin there. Do you have an update on Reginald?
I do not have an update. The last I heard is he's going to survive his wounds.
Okay, but he's not been taken in custody.
Well, he's in custody.
But still in the
He's
facility.
booked in absentia and he's receiving medical care. But yeah, he's in custody.
And how is the deputy?
The deputy is doing much better. It was really, the wound looked horrible. Fortunately, it didn't cut any of the vital parts like arteries or tendons. So we expect a full recovery and back to work soon.
How many times was Reginald shot? I don't know if that ever came out.
There was about six shots. 6 rounds fired, and I believe up to 4 may have struck him. I'm not positive.
You know, a lot has been made and a lot has been talked about when it comes to these body cams and everything. What did you learn watching this specific incident from that?
Well, it wasn't so much what I learned as what I wanted the public and other officers, young officers, to learn.
Okay.
There's a mindset when you shoot someone, they go backwards. I think you saw here that he was hit up to 4 times. There was no going backwards. The officer actually tried to retreat. But the big and the size of the suspect is very relevant. But the whole thing of this, if you watch this, is what I've said all along. This happens in 1/10 of 1 second, and when we stop the video and you can see that he has something in his hands, that's not in real time. In real time, you don't know for sure what that is. You do know he's charging you, and you know he has something in his hands, and you have a split second to make a decision. And Deputy Griffey made that decision and did the right thing.
Now, this might be too early, I think, to sort of like throw into the mix, but with California and their rules and laws regarding use of force and everything, would this be scrutinized under that, do you think?
Well, I think every shooting is going to be scrutinized,
okay.
and we're aware of that. We accept that.
Okay.
But what we always do is look backwards after the event occurs. Had this been a cell phone, I suspect that we would have had the same result, and the big question would have been, was it necessary? And you know, if you watch that in real time, place yourself in the officer's position, and it was absolutely necessary, or you're not going home, because he received a serious wound anyway. Mm-hmm. And there was quite a distance between the two when the suspect decided to do what he decided to do. He actually charged. The officer tried to retreat, and I'm sure retrieving his firearm, mm-hmm. and saved his own life.
When you take a look at this video, and others are now looking at this video, and more of this type of video, hopefully these incidents, but of these situations, just various situations involving law enforcement and whatnot, be able to start compiling sort of a library so that we can see these types of things. Do you think the scrutiny will start to subside a little bit because people will get more of an insight and a view into what they're actually seeing out there? Or do you think it'll still continue to ramp up like it has been recently?
I think there's a group of people that believe that law enforcement is just bad.
Okay.
And those people are going to continue. They've already second-guessed this type of incident as to what else we could have done. Mm-hmm. Could you have used another weapon? Could you have done this? Could you have done that? And anyone with any common sense realizes that the officer believed that he was going to defuse this situation. You could tell by the demeanor of his voice. You could tell by the female's voice that he was going to be successful. And in a split second, it turned. And that's what you have to take away from this.
You know, I noticed that you mentioned his voice and the commands that he was giving. They were very much, you know, let me see your hands, not in a very strong, loud. Is that a result of training now? Or is that just the deputy and how he is towards?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
We certainly train that when you're dealing with someone with a mental health issue, calmness is important because uniforms can be threatening to them.
Okay.
And to be calm with them. We absolutely train that. But even when this incident occurred, the officer remained calm, much calmer than I probably would have been. Mm-hmm. And that's probably an individual thing. But he was in control the whole time. And the voice, the loudness of the voice, the words that you use, they matter.
Okay, very good. And last, I just wanted to ask you one more. The video itself, you held the press conference, showed the video, talked about the incident. Did you go back afterwards, watch the video again, and did you see anything since the press conference in it that you didn't see the first time?
Well, you always do, and you know, this. I
was wondering if anything stood out afterwards.
Well, none of them are perfect, and we will second guess ourselves and what we could have done better with information from the dispatcher, who also was very calm in conversation with them and did a great job. But we'll scrutinize all that, and there will be an after-action report, and we'll say, okay, we could have done this better. Here's how. Every single time, no matter how perfect it is.
All right, Sheriff Youngblood, thank you for coming in this morning.
Pleasure.
Appreciate that. If you want to see that video, it's still posted on our website. You can go to turnto23.com. Let's go back in Studio A. Alyssa?
Former Congressman David Valadao throwing his hat back in the campaign ring. He'll once again run for the 21st Congressional District. According to the Federal Elections Commission, Valadao filed the papers on Tuesday. Valadao lost to T.J. Cox in a close contest in 2018, the first Republican to lose to a Democrat in the historically red district in more than a decade. The margin of difference was 862 votes. We'll continue to monitor this race closely, and you can follow the latest developments on our website, turnto23.com. The Kern County Museum is offering a new chair workout class this summer. 23 ABC's Daniela Garrido is live at the museum with more on what exactly it's all about. Daniela?
This is not a bad way to start the morning. We're at the Kern County Museum's new chair classes. This is a 5-week program, and while right now we're warming up, we've been doing a couple stretches already, and we're here with Deb McCormick. She is the chair instructor here, and look at this class, it's full. They're all out here really early to do this with us, and this is a new program that the Kern County Museum is doing, and all the proceeds are going to the Kern County Museum. Now, they start officially on July 30th, but I'm glad that they're giving us, okay, wait, I got lost. I'm glad that they're giving us a little preview, but if you want to come in for a preview next Tuesday and Thursday, they'll be having this class again. And like I said, this is a 5-week program, so it's only going to go until August. But for more information, you can actually go to the Kern County website or give them a call. We're also going to have it on our website, turn23.com. And I mean, I give this a thumbs up while we're here. So back to you guys in the studio, but for now, we're live at the Kern County Museum. Danielle Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Music will be manting from Southwest Bakersfield this evening, and that's because Concerts by the Fountain is back today. The concert will be held at the main fountain at the Marketplace on Ming Avenue. Rod P. and New Standard will be performing multi-genre hits today from 7 until 9 o'clock. The concert series at the Marketplace runs this month and next month.
Rock on.
Yeah, it'll be a great evening for us today, too.
It will indeed. Yeah, we're talking about hot temperatures, 99 at about 5 p.m., but that's seasonal, and we'll be falling to the low 90s as the evening goes on. So as you're waking up this morning, no 90s in sight just yet. We're at 72 at this hour. Again, later today, 99. That does come with moderate air quality. We're talking about some sunshine, maybe some very high thin clouds, but not as much as what we saw yesterday. If you want to cool down, you can head over to Paso. Fantastic weather today for the Mid-State Fair. They're talking about 76 at 4 p.m. for their high there, and then falling to 70 at 7:30 for those concerts. They have Pat Benatar and Melissa Etheridge both performing later on tonight. For that concert by the Fountain later on here in Bakersfield, we're going to be at 95 still at 7 p.m. as you take your lawn chairs and something cold to drink, falling to 87 as you're dancing there around the fountain at about 9 p.m. So, okay, not bad. Tomorrow, though, we're a little bit cooler thanks to a fresh ocean wind. So look at the temperatures for the movie in the park. They're showing Incredibles 2. Yes, Incredibles 2 out at one of those parks there. It'll be 87 at 8:30, falling to 82 at 10 p.m.
Oh, you're thinking of the other Disney movie. Okay.
For the rest of
the one coming out this week.
Yeah, that's right. Lion King. It is here. Are you going to sing?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good.
They don't want to hear that.
We'll tell you what one star had to say about getting to play Simba next.
Welcome back. As we talk about our traffic, the CHP hasn't quite cleared up that incident from earlier this morning on Rosedale Highway, way out on the west side, past even Greeley Road. They had a report that a semi spilled some gravel. Doesn't seem like too big of a deal, but they're saying that as drivers are driving through it, it's kicking up some dust, which could impair visibility out there. So again, that's Rosedale Highway, way out on the west side. As you come down here to the rest of Bakersfield, we're all running in the green.
A man from Florida is facing murder charges for the deaths of multiple family members. Here's a preview of what's happening on Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, our next big live trial. It's Florida versus Grant Amato. He's been charged in the deaths of his mother, father, and his brother. He was 29 years old at the time of their murder. But in this case, prosecutors don't have a lot of forensic evidence. Instead, they have a lot of alleged motive evidence. And what are they saying the motive is? An obsession with a webcam girl in Bulgaria. They say he stole $200,000 from his family to support his habit of going online to speak with this woman. And as a result, he was getting kicked out of his house, and that's why they say he murdered his family. We are live in Sanford, Florida all day with the next big case, Florida versus Grant Amato.
Well, if you think airline seating is torturously tight, you're not alone. In fact, there's a good chance your flight attendant probably agrees with you. The Association of Professional Flight Attendants testified about the issue on Capitol Hill Wednesday. The APFA represents flight attendants working for American Airlines. They told the House Transportation and Infrastructure Subcommittee, quote, "It's a torture chamber for our passengers and for us that also fly on our own airlines." They added the decreasing size of plane seating is also a safety issue because it makes emergency exits almost impossible in certain situations.
In other news, Bank of America certainly did not struggle in the second quarter. The bank announced record profits thanks to Americans' quote, sturdy spending habits. B of A says it made nearly $7.5 billion. It's a jump of profits by 8%. And I think that's good. The bank also shared that so far in the first 6 months of this year, taken in $14.7 billion, also a new record.
Netflix admits it missed the mark with its forecast about new membership numbers. The company announced it added 2.7 million new subscribers in its second quarter this year. The analysts say they were expecting 5 million new subscribers. Profits for the streaming service also fell between the first and second quarters, but revenue was up. Netflix says it's expecting its third quarter to be better than its second. It now has 151.5 million subscribers around the globe. It plans to add another 7 million in the next quarter.
Entertainment news, yes, The Lion. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Lion King's roaring in the theater today. Yeah, with a blend of new voices and some nostalgia. The Disney tale of love and loss and finding your strength, and of course Hakuna Matata. It stars Donald Glover as the voice of Simba. Said he was honored to be part of something that was already cherished by so many.
You know, it's a global story, and I feel like we're in very global times. It's not like small communities anymore. Like, we have to come together. So I felt like, you know, I'm very excited about being a part of something like this.
Beyonce also co-stars. She is Nala. James Earl Jones is back as Mufasa. You had to have him back. The film's expected to easily top the box office this weekend. The sun touches.
Look how cute Simba is. I can't get over it.
I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's talk about temperatures. I'm excited about these conditions this morning as well. Moderate air quality and 60s for the valley floor. Bakersfield, the only one still holding on to 72 at this hour. We have 60s in the Kern River Valley, Keene, Bear Valley, and down into Lebec, but 50s in Pine Mountain Club, Fraser Park, and Tehachapi at this hour. Still some 70s in Edwards and Ridgecrest. Fantastic weather as we sit between two high pressure systems. That's why we're so sunny and dry and warm, but up to our north there are systems passing onshore, and so that increases just a little bit of a breeze today to keep temperatures like yesterday just shy of those 100s, which is seasonal for this time of year. And then tomorrow and Saturday, you don't really see any cloud cover coming through. We're not talking about a system that is moving onshore bringing us any rain chances or really even any cloud cover, but it will dig down that jet stream, and so that provides a little bit of a breeze tomorrow, therefore a few degrees of cooling. Will slowly start stabilizing on Saturday, and then high pressure builds after that, so things are getting warmer. As we talk about that average high, it's 98 today in Bakersfield, 99. Okay, seasonal, really nice out there like yesterday. It is hot, but it's mid-July, it should be. There's that breeze for tomorrow, which means mid-90s, the same on Saturday, back to the upper 90s, pretty seasonal for Sunday. And then next week, you see we have a long stretch of 100s out here. You're seeing sunshine across the board as well, but a little bit of cloud cover trying to come through. That's because monsoonal moisture will try to push in from the east. So for us here in the valley, we have high pressure dominating, haze, 100s, typical July forecast. But it will start to feel just a little bit humid on Wednesday. I don't think we'll have any rain moving our way because it's just a little too far out of reach, but it could provide some scattered showers and possibly even isolated thunderstorms for our desert locations and trying to push up into our mountains early next week. So for the Kern River Valley, 94 today and then low 90s Friday and Saturday. Tehachapi, Fraser Park, some 80s right on through the weekend. And as everybody gets warmer, you also get more humid. You start to see that cloud cover. Not the best chance of thunderstorms, but we'll keep an eye on it as that monsoonal moisture makes its move next week.
Coming up, do you remember that? I remember that picture. Yeah, symbolic moment of the Apollo 11 landing, the planting of the American flag. But where did it come from? We'll show you next. 6:53 now. A compound found in red wine could help astronauts resist the negative impacts of being in reduced gravity. That's the conclusion done in a new study published in the Frontiers in Physiology. I don't mean to laugh. It suggests that an antioxidant and compound found in blueberries and the skin of grapes could help prevent the muscle loss that's commonly found after prolonged exposure to reduced gravity environments. Scientists have found that astronauts staying for 6 months or longer on the International Space Station can suffer bone loss and muscle atrophy. Researchers say the compound might be part of a dietary strategy that could keep astronauts strong on Mars, which only has about 40% of Earth's gravity. Have to have a wine fridge on Mars. You know the iconic image of Buzz Aldrin planting the American flag on the surface of the moon during the Apollo 11 mission? Well, that fabric was produced in a mill in North Carolina. Small town of Rhodus. The Burlington textile mill closed down a long time ago, but people there are still proud of the history, and rightfully so. It's the 50th anniversary of the moon landing in just a few days. The town's planning a very special celebration, and the people that worked at the mill, like former employee Carl Compton, couldn't be happier about the big day.
When we made the flag material, the employees didn't know it, that it was going to the moon. Everybody was excited. I mean, you know, it was, to us, it was a big thing.
Compton says he hopes that America goes back to the moon and Tranquility Base. He wants to go and pick up the flag. Says it was likely blown down during takeoff almost decades ago.
Probably right. Well, a curious visitor to the Train Museum in Maine that resembled a white throw pillow or, I don't know, maybe a toupee, turned out to be a rare albino porcupine. I didn't know that was a thing. The young rodent turned up Tuesday at Seashore Trolley Museum in Maine, confusing staff who asked for help on social media. The consensus was that it's an albino porcupine. That's what they decided on. I don't know.
I think it's down there to the right.
On the right?
Yes,
Is that,
yes,
okay.
That's down there to the right. I don't know that would have been my first guess, an albino porcupine.
Down and to the right.
Yeah.
You know, this is really news you can use this morning, folks.
This is.
If you ever see something like this, turn up on your front yard.
Well, but how often seriously, how often, if you were to see that, I mean, we can't really tell the size and how big it is from this picture.
I would think it was a pillow.
But if you saw something, wouldn't you just walk over, like you'd think to just pick it up and throw it away?
Yeah,
I
think that's probably $59 a
and you get
barrel.
stuck.
Yeah, exactly. I would think it was one of those rugs, the sheepskin rugs they were selling at Costco.
The expensive ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, Costco, you always get a good deal.
Yeah. Everything leads back to
special on white albino porcupines.
And sheep and milk all at the same time.
That's right.
All right.
And you can get a sample.
I love the samples, right? It's the only way to get a kid through Costco. All right, so we're at 72 here in Bakersfield. It is a dry heat, and we're definitely feeling the heat today as we get to 99. That's just like yesterday. Our average high is 98, so this is seasonal. Mid-90s tomorrow with a fresh breeze starting to level off Saturday. Warmer on Sunday. You see 100s all next week. You also see some cloud cover coming through. A little bit of monsoonal. We'll try to push monsoonal moisture. We'll try to push in from Arizona next week, giving us a slight chance of thunderstorms into our desert and mountain locations. I've been waiting all summer for this, but the thing we do not like about the chance of thunderstorms is there's the threat of dry lightning, because we have those storms moving through. The rain evaporates and all of the heat, but the lightning is still coming down. So we're not talking about fire dangers just yet, but we know we're heading into that season, so we're going to keep a close eye on it. If you ever see smoke out on the horizon, just give the Kern County Fire Department a call. They like to know. Sometimes they're like, oh, it's a controlled burn, we got it. And sometimes they're like, hey, thank you for the heads up.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't like looking back at your forecast right now, that's six
six days of 100.
Okay, just
but
making sure I'm seeing that right.
I'm sorry, is that a double heat wave?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that what you were thinking?
Double heat wave.
Because heat wave is 3 days in a row of 100s. A heat wave is just any stretch that you have. So in the past, we've had like 14-day stretches.
Right.
This one looking to be about 6. But see how Tuesday's right at 100? If that's at 99, that could break it. That's what's happened several times since our first heat wave.
We've technically only had one.
We've only had one.
Wow.
We wanted to get one Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Technically, one's enough.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with none.
Yeah,
right?
One's enough.
But because Monday was right at 99, it broke that chance for that second heat wave. This looks to be the next second chance of a second heat wave.
Be ready for it. All right, that's going to do it for us this morning. Breaking weather, including hundreds, traffic, news, anytime, anywhere on our mobile and tablet apps.
We'll see you right back here in 30 minutes for a local update.